So yeah, like I said, let's talk about some of this Department of Efficiency. A little bit of this Dogecoin or however you pronounce it. Now, Donald Trump is vowing to reduce wasteful federal spending by tapping two billionaires, Tesla CEO Elon Musk and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy, to spearhead the initiative, which the president-elect is calling the Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge. Oh, it don't got nothing to do with Dogecoin. It just, okay, I like that. So, excuse me. The appointments announced by Trump on Tuesday raised a host of questions about the effort, including whether Musk and Ramaswamy will have the authority to make changes in federal outlays, given that Congress authorizes the nation's spending, as well as where the businessmen might look to cut spending under the plan. Meanwhile, Doge is not an official government department, raising questions about its powers and how it will operate. That's interesting. So how does that kind of work, y'all? Excuse me. The announcement comes a week after Trump won a second term as president, with voters expressing their dissatisfaction with the economy under the Biden administration. As part of his campaign vows, Trump proposed to slash government spending. Musk's bio on S, the social media platform he bought in 22, now reads, "The people voted for major government reform," which is absolutely true. We, the young people, we showed up in droves. We showed up in record numbers. That's absolutely right. Frankly, it does need to be done again. So every few decades, you really need to look at everything. Elaine Kamarok, a senior fellow in governance studies at the Brookings Institute, who managed the Clinton administration's National Performance Review, an effort to cut government spending in the 1990s, told CBS Money Watch. But Kamarok harbors reservations about Musk and Ramaswamy's mandate, especially after the former recently suggested he could find more than $2 trillion in savings. Well, that's a good thing. Almost one-third of the federal government's $6.7 trillion in annual spending. Two-thirds of that spending is mandatory, through programs including Social Security and Medicare, while discretionary spending is largely spent on defense. This is first a warning that this is going to be a failed operation, Carmack said. Oh, she's a hater. We got a hater, y'all. Hater in the building. Speaking on transformational change within government organization, Michael Morris, a professor at Columbia Business School, noted that there are two models, a bottom-up grassroots effort and a top-down strategy, sometimes called shock change approach. Doge, Department of Government Efficiency, likely belongs to the latter, according to Morris, who has also authored the nonfiction book Tribal, about how people form and relate to each other through group dynamics, which is absolutely true. Unless you have a new leader with incredible legitimacy and the status quo with no legitimacy, you rarely have people responding well to shock therapy. He said, "It's hard to see it happening in this case. I don't think Musk is going to be able to form a deep knowledge of government." The Trump campaign didn't immediately respond to requests for a comment. Now, I know a lot of people are asking, what is the Department of Government Efficiency? Some people are saying it's not even a real thing. As you can see, they said it's not even a real department. But obviously, they do have powers if our sitting president is giving them responsibilities, right? Trump announced the DOJE, also known as Doge, in a statement on Tuesday, describing it as an effort to slash excess regulations, cut wasteful expenditures, and restructure federal agencies. The name is a nod to Musk's support for cryptocurrencies called Dogecoin, which was created as a joke by two software engineers and uses the image of a smiling Shiba Inu dog. Dogecoin has more than tripled in price during the last month and now trades at 38 cents. Trump said Musk and Ramaswamy will conclude no later than July 4th, 2026, or by the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Trump only outlined the initiative's contours and didn't disclose how it will be staffed or funded. The Trump campaign didn't respond to a request about the Doge funding or whether Musk or Ramaswamy will be paid for their work on their effort. I mean, again, I'm not no political guy. I'm not as politically inclined as a lot of you, but I don't think that two billionaires need to be paid or are looking for to profit off of this. I don't think for someone who's responsible to send 90% of the rockets that leave the atmosphere come from one private sector business. That's, he obviously has a clue of what he's doing. Now, on Thursday, an ex-account for Doge said the group is accepting resumes from super high-Q small government revolutionaries willing to work 80-plus hours a week on unglamorous cost-cutting. Wow. In a separate post, Musk said, Compensation is zero. Of course. I mean, what kind of billionaires does it look like? What are you going to pay them? Well, how much? Like, what? Now, another thing that people are questioning is, can the Doge actually cut federal spending? At the moment, that appears unlikely, given that the Doge isn't a real government department, which would need to be created by congressional approval. Now, I mean, Trump is the big 47, obviously there's checks and balances, stuff like that. But if they have the approval of the president, we got the state, we got the, it'd be all right. It'd be all right. Don't worry about it. They got the money to do so. Feel me? Federal spending is authorized by Congress, and senators and House representatives may hesitate to support cuts to major programs like Social Security or Medicare, which are popular within millions of voters, or to the nation's military. Let's hear some from Mr. Ramaswamy himself.
Of partisan affiliation can get behind, and that's how Elon and I are thinking about it.
Well, that was Vivek Ramaswamy.
Tackling this kind of waste, fraud, abuse, bureaucratic bloat, we're going for the stuff that's basic common sense that most Americans actually agree on. And I hope we're going to actually be able to help unite the country by eliminating waste, which is something that all Americans, regardless of partisan affiliation, can get behind. And that's how Elon and I are thinking about it.
Well, that was Vivek Ramaswamy touting the new Department of Government Efficiency that he and Elon Musk will be running. Now, also known as DOGE, this temporary agency will partner with the White House and Office of Management and Budget to drive structural government change from outside the government. Now, they put out their first messaging on X yesterday, writing this: working overtime to ensure your tax dollars will be spent wisely. So what have we been spending some of our federal funds on? Let's review. Almost $550,000 went to a Russian lab to run experiments on cats' brains. That was spent by the National Institutes of Health. $3.7 million of funding went to a study on monkeys and gambling, another NIH fascinating project. And the State Department awarding tens of thousands of dollars for drag shows in Ecuador. And that's just the tip of the wasteful spending iceberg. Here's Senator James Langford rattling off just a few government spending projects at a House hearing last year. Watch.
Last year, the State Department did a grant to Ecuador to host 12 drag shows in Ecuador with American tax dollars. Now, may have different opinions in this room on drag shows. I'm just asking the simple question: is the best use of American tax dollars to actually fund drag shows in Ecuador with U.S. tax dollars? National Science Foundation last year did a study of butterflies in Europe. So we funded with American taxpayer dollars. Last year there was also a NEA grant that was done to set up.
Now, what do you guys think about all of this? Obviously, I'm big Elon Musk. I'm big 47. Anything Elon Musk, I'm for it. Now, I'm not just saying blind following, but I feel like he has America's best interests. I feel like he's a decent person, right? Especially for revolutionizing the car game, changing most Americans' idea or perception on gas-powered vehicles to battery-powered vehicles. So that's pretty dope. And for the simple fact that he's responsible for 90% of the rockets that leave Earth, like, that's crazy, bro. Like, his brand, like, we talking about Russia, China, all of these other superpowers. Like, that's really big. But let me know what you guys think in the comments, man.